Good afternoon and evening to all of you, and welcome. I'm Lynn Neal, the Chief Product Officer here at SellCheck. We could not be happier for you to join our keynote speaker event and the second annual Best of SellCheck Awards, where we recognize the best of the best executions in 2021. Know that we are recording this event for posterity. We begin with our insightful keynote speaker, Ray Burke. Ray is a marketing professor at Indiana's Kelley School of Business, and he actually leads their customer interface laboratory. Today, Ray speaks on a topic that's relevant to all of us. What are the little things we can do that nudge shopability and increase our sales? I got to tell the audience ahead of time that Ray's content is data rich. It's got the objective, quantified findings that a number of brands pay to field. So I did check with him, and it's a-okay to screenshot some of his data slides for your own use. Good to know. Following Ray's keynote, join us for the Best of SellCheck Awards, recognizing the very best among the brand executions that we received in 2021. Without further ado, let me introduce our keynote speaker, Ray Burke.
Thanks, Lynn. Well, I'm honored to be part of this event and appreciate the opportunity to share my research. So let me go ahead and display my slides. During the last few years, we've seen tremendous change in retailing. Shopping is not just about product assortment or price. Consumers expect the experience is going to be convenient and enjoyable. And this has been challenging. We've had the pandemic and concerns about supply chain and safety. But fortunately, we've been learning new approaches to enhance retail productivity and make stores work harder. So I'd like to share with you some insights from the research that we've been doing, simple things that marketers can do to better connect with shoppers and improve shopability. So what do I mean by shopability? It's the capacity of the retail environment to translate consumer demand to purchase. And it consists of two things. One is shopper engagement, making consumers' needs salient at the point of purchase, and then converting shoppers to buyers and removing all the obstacles to purchase. Now, we've done a variety of research projects in this area. We've done field experiments and lab studies, nationwide surveys, case studies. One of the projects is done in conjunction with the Retail Industry Leaders Association. This was sponsored by Procter & Gamble, Johnson & Johnson, Unilever, and we looked at some of the innovative things that retailers are doing around the world to improve the customer experience. Now, before I go on, I need to acknowledge my collaborators because great research comes from great partners. And we have relationships with faculty around the world. And these are some of the folks who have contributed to the projects that I'm sharing with you today. So let me dig into the research. I'm going to focus on the behavioral research where we actually watch shoppers and see how they interact with the physical environment. Shopper flow analysis, some eye tracking research that we're doing, shelf interaction. So let me start with the shopper flow analysis. Here, we'll use either video cameras in retail stores and in public spaces, or RFID, or we'll track the cell phone that customers carry and use this to look at the shopper's journey to understand the path to purchase. So let me share a few examples of this research. One is a project that we had done with Eddie Bauer. Now, Eddie Bauer stores, they're often located in shopping malls. And customers, they don't go to the mall just to shop at Eddie Bauer. They often go to be at the anchor stores. But while they're there, as they're passing by, they might be prompted to go into the store. But the window displays are really important for generating store traffic. So Eddie Bauer was using these big 6-by-8-foot posters that have seasonal content on them. We did some research on who's shopping in the mall at different times. And we found that there are different people shopping for different reasons at different times of the day. So for example, in the morning, you tended to have older shoppers. They were more product focused. They were price sensitive. They were less concerned about fashion. And yet in the evening, you'd have younger shoppers in the mall. They were shopping more in groups. They were more concerned about fashion. So what we did is we replaced the paper signs and used digital signs. And we did day parting. We had different messaging based on the time of day to better connect with shoppers. This change helped to increase store traffic by 23% and total store sales by 10%. In fact, the items that we featured on these digital displays were often outselling some of the biggest stores in Chicago. Here's another example. You know, when you're walking down the street, you walk past a real estate office and it'll show the properties in the windows. Well, we did some tracking research where we recorded people's cell phones and identified the number of people who would walk past the display and stop and look. And only about 12% of the passerbys were stopping and examining these displays. Less than 6% were looking for more than 5 minutes. So we made two changes. One was we took lifestyle signage and displayed it in the windows to connect with shoppers' aspirations. And then we organized the property listings based on the size of the apartment and the type of the home. And we were able to increase the percentage of people who stop by 52% and triple the number of people who looked at these displays for 5 to 9 minutes. Here's another example for apparel. This is with American Eagle Outfitters. And these stores, if you've been to an American Eagle, they have about the same amount of merchandise for men's and for women's segments. But only about 30% of their customers, the people walking into the store, were men, and only 20% of their sales were their men's items. And the question was, how do they do a better job of connecting with men? Now, an industry executive had commented, for men, it's about getting in there, getting what they need, and then getting the hell out. So we made two changes. First, we wanted to understand how the shoppers interacted with the store. So we put a special type of video camera in the ceiling that has 6 lenses. So we had a panoramic view of the store, and we wrote software to automate this tracking of shoppers. These blobs that you see, the blue blobs in the bottom of the screen, these are the shoppers that are being tracked with computer vision. And then we were able to map that onto the store floor plan. So how were people navigating the store? This is the floor plan. The entrances are on the right. You see the cash wrap or checkout is towards the center. The men's departments are on the top part of this floor plan. So men would enter the store and they would stop at the lead fixture. And so what's on the lead fixture? It's a lot of the new merchandise that they're featuring. And then they would go to the back of the store. These are where the clearance items are, the sale items. And if they didn't see something they'd like, they'd leave. But what about the middle part of the store? You know, how do you sell that merchandise? So we did two things. One is we looked at what people were actually buying at the cash register. You know, men, it sounds like a stereotype, but men have trouble putting outfits together. So we, rather than bringing in a designer and trying to put outfits together, we just looked at the items that people were purchasing together, and we merchandised those on these bust forms. Okay, so believe it or not, these are the products that the people were buying. And then the other issue that we found is that some of the men, they would stop at the displays, but then they wouldn't interact with the merchandise. And we did some exit interviews, and the men said, well, if I pick up the product, I can't fold it and put it back on the shelf in the same way. Well, that's what the sales associates are supposed to do. But we wanted to make the products more accessible. So we just, rather than do the normal crease fold, we just took the product, folded it in half, and put it on the shelf. Those two changes caused an 85% increase in product fixture interaction and about a 40% increase in sales. So we haven't changed the product assortment. We haven't changed the price. All we've done is do a better job of connecting what's in the mind of the shopper with what's physically presented in the store. Now, another research technique that we use is eye tracking. And the benefit of eye tracking is now we can see where is the customer's visual attention going, what's engaging the shopper, how findable are the products. So we use either mobile eye tracking in stores or desktop eye tracking in the lab, and we record the visual path and eye fixations and dwell time. This is the technology that we've used. This is the original Tobii technology, and these are actual shoppers in the store wearing this. We have newer technology that looks more modern, less conspicuous. So what do shoppers see as they're navigating the aisles? Now, it looks like the shopper's on roller skates, right? This is actually how fast they're walking down the aisle. They see what they're looking for, grab it, put it in the shopping cart, and they're off to the next product category. Okay, so what do shoppers see? Well, they tend to scan horizontally. So I'm going to show you a heat map that shows the density of visual attention, how long people look and how often they look at different regions. They tend to scan about 4.5 feet above the floor level. And what attracts their attention, there are low-level features like color, contrast, the size of displays, lighting, discontinuities will attract attention. So if I take these breakfast bars that you see in this aisle and put them on a freestanding display, it increases visual attention by 2 to 4 times. Attention is also driven by the high-level goals of the shopper. So let's say that you walk through the produce section and you're not shopping for one of the items on this display. Well, you tend to look towards the center of the display. But if I'm shopping for tomatoes, the attention goes to the tomatoes. Or let's say I walk past the display of donuts, and I'm not shopping specifically for that product. You tend to look towards the center of the display. If I'm shopping for donuts, it's like the whole display lights up. So we wanted to understand what are some of the specific factors that affect the customer's ability to find products at the point of purchase. And we did some virtual reality simulations. We created these different shelf displays and asked people to find certain products as fast as they can and recorded their eye movements. So let's say I ask you to find Frosted Cheerios, and I just give you the name Frosted Cheerios. It's shown in the center of this display. It takes 9.4 seconds to find it. But if I give you the picture of Frosted Cheerios, maybe on a coupon, it only takes you 2.5 seconds to find the product. Or let's say I give you a picture of Golden Grams and I ask you to find it as fast as you can. It takes 5.7 seconds. But you notice that there's other products on the shelf that are also in that golden package. You've got Cheerios, you've got shredded wheat. If I have a more distinctive package, like the green Apple Jacks, it only takes you 1.1 second to find the product. Even the organization of the shelf and how messy the shelf is. You shop on a Saturday and they've had a lot of traffic through the store and things get moved around. If I ask you to find Golden Grams, it takes you 8.2 seconds. If I straighten the shelves, only 5.7 seconds. The third kind of research that I'd like to share with you today is work that we're doing with shelf interaction analysis. So now we're measuring not just where people are in the store, but actually how they physically interact with the shelf. We're using video cameras or 3D imaging or RFID tracking, and we can measure the effort that it takes people to shop and the productivity of their actions. So here's an image of where the sensor would be positioned to track the customer's interaction. So let me show you a little video clip. Here you see a shopper entering the hair care section of the store. And what's being tracked by the computer is shown in the bottom right. And then the interactions are plotted on the planogram on the left. So you see the shopper picks up a product, puts it back, picks up and retains the second item. And this is what's being recorded. Okay, so if we only had the sales transaction data, you'd see that these 2 items were purchased. But with the shelf interaction analysis, we see that this first item is picked up at 3.9 seconds. It's put back at 7.5 seconds. The next item is picked up at 10.5 seconds and retained, and so on. So you have the entire interaction with a shelf. So how can we use this? Well, we can measure the effort that shoppers put into the category and the productivity of that effort, what purchase conversion rate you see. So let me walk through this slide and look at different segments of shoppers. You have some people who walk to a category, they stop, they look at it, but then they end up not buying anything. You have these bypassers. The challenge here is to make the product relevant to the customer. And this is a difficult sell. There's another shopper who goes in, they're the grab and go shopper. They know what they're looking for, they pick it up, they put it in the shopping cart, and they're off to the next category. In this case, it's key to have a transparent shopping experience, make it easy for customers to see and find the product that they're looking for, have distinctive packaging. Some of the shoppers are spending longer in the category. They're looking at multiple products and they're eventually buying. So in this case, it's important to communicate the value and benefits of the products. You want to assure the product, you want to make the shopping experience enjoyable. And then finally, there's some people who spend a lot of time and they leave without buying. And for these people, it's often a value concern. Maybe it's product assortment, the product is out of stock that they're looking for. Now, we can do the same analysis of shopping effort and productivity at the brand level. In this case, these are some data that we collected in Scandinavia for hair care products, shampoo and conditioner products. And let me just walk you through quickly the measures that we're capturing. So for Elvital, for their shampoo and conditioner products, the dark green region, these are the grab and go purchases. These are the people who know what they're looking for. They come in, they grab the product, and they're off to the next category. But you also have a certain number of purchases where people are shopping the category. They're looking at other brands, and then they eventually buy Elvital. Together, these are the unit sales for this brand. But we also know the cases where the shopper is interacting with this brand, but they also look at other brands and they end up buying a different brand. So this is what we call product rejection, or cases where they examine the brand and then they leave the category without buying. So this captures the unrealized demand and the opportunity to potentially grow sales. So we capture the total level of brand engagement. One of the ways that it's valuable to look at the data is for each brand, what percentage of the purchases are these planned or grab and go type purchases? Because this is a measure of brand loyalty or habitual purchasing. So these purchases are secured, and you see that there's significant differences across these brands. You can also look for all of the purchases that are made in the category. For just those that are planned purchases, what share is your brand capturing? And also, what share are you capturing for the in-store decision? So if we just look at cases where people are comparing alternatives, how often are you winning against competitors? And if your percentages are low, it may be because your packaging is not connecting with shoppers, it's not communicating the value to customers. Another insight that we can gain from this shelf interaction analysis is we can look at the sets of products that people examine before they make a purchase and infer the customer's decision tree. So for example, with shampoo and conditioners, we see a number of transitions where people are looking at different varieties within a brand, or they're comparing different brands within a category, like different brands of shampoo. So that's in 63% of the cases. Only 37% of the cases do we see the consumer is looking between the same brand, but going from the shampoo to the conditioner. And yet those products are sitting right next to each other on the shelf. The other issue that we found in the hair care category was people seem to be confused when they're looking for shampoo. They pick up conditioner first, then they put it immediately back onto the shelf and then go to the shampoo product. And you can see between these two products, it's really hard to see which one is the conditioner and the shampoo. Again, these data were collected in Norway, and they refer to conditioner as balsam, and that's the prices are shown in Norwegian krone. So what we did was we took the hair care section and we took the varieties of product within each brand and grouped those together based on the pattern of search that we found. And we also added shelf edge labeling to clearly identify the category of shampoo versus the balsam or conditioner. That change led to an increase in the shoppers stopping at the category by 23%. It increased the product touch by 15%, purchase conversion rate for the hair care by 23%, and sales per visitor by 19%. And we reduced the number of cases where people would pick up the product and put it back right away by 34%. So let me just briefly summarize some of the insights from this research. First, it's important to accommodate shopper ergonomics. Think about the physical characteristics of shoppers. How tall are they? Are they right-handed or left-handed? What's their visual acuity? So we find, for example, when people are standing in front of the shelf, they tend to look about 15 inches below eye level. When they're walking down the aisle, they tend to favor products that are on the right-hand side of the aisle, even if they're left-hand handed. And also people have a certain level of energy when they're shopping. So at the beginning part of the trip, they're more likely to reach down to the low shelves or reach up to the high shelves. By the end of the trip, they're just looking at about chest level. We also need to think about how to align the product's appearance with the mental representation of the shopper. We saw this, for example, in Eddie Bauer. Different times of the day, different contexts, people have different needs. So we want the messaging to connect with shoppers within that context. Or you go into the store and in the package, we need that picture of the package to be in the mind of the customer so that they can easily find the product. We want to align the shelf presentation with the shopper's choice architecture. If customers are making these grab and go purchases, then make it easy for customers to see and buy these planned purchases. If it's more extended decision making, understand the shopper's decision tree and organize the shelf so customers can navigate through the variety of products that are available. And then finally, you want to provide some decision affirming cues. So for example, when we showed those outfits in the American Eagle store, we're just reinforcing customers' predisposition to buy these products. So looking ahead, I think we're all anxious to get beyond this pandemic and understand the new normal of shopper behavior. But fortunately, we've got great tools now, not just to look at sales of products, but to understand the time and effort that's required to shop and opportunities to better engage shoppers and to convert shopper demand into purchase. So I appreciate the opportunity to share this research with you today. If you'd like to reach out to me, here's my contact information. And let me turn things back over to Lynn. So thank you, Lynn.
All right, fantastic, Ray. That's great. I really appreciate you sharing your research and insights with us. I got to say, first thing, let's go back to your American Eagle example. So is it true now that we can kind of blame you and your team for young men wearing loose polo shirts, khaki shorts, and flip-flops as their fashion statement? Is that what I'm hearing?
Len, we were just affirming the purchases that people were already making. I almost wore that today, but then you insisted I wear a jacket. So
that'd be great. Well, I appreciate your choice, breaking out of the male mold. Hey, let me check my notes right here. I think you broke down your analysis into three types of research. It was shopper flow, eye tracking, and shelf interaction. What are some of the pros and cons across these three analysis types that our audience might need to understand?
Yeah, sure. Well, thanks for the question. So for the shopper flow analysis, here you can use often the existing cameras that you have in the store to look at how customers are navigating the store and where they're spending time and how they're engaging with the product categories. You can track shopper behavior 24/7. With the eye tracking research, now the advantage of eye tracking is you're getting much more detailed information on the patterns of visual attention and insights into product findability. But it's much more labor intensive to do these studies. I had to stand in front of stores asking shoppers to wear these eye tracking glasses. And on a good day, you might get 1 in 3 shoppers willing to do this. So the sample sizes tend to be smaller in the hundreds of shoppers. And then the shelf interaction analysis, it's impressive how much data you can collect, all the times that people pick up and put back the products, but you can be overwhelmed with this level of detail. Mm-hmm. And so what we're doing is we're setting up the technology to do this tracking, but then we wait for certain events to occur. We wait for a new product to be introduced or an out of stock to occur, and then we can go back and analyze these data to diagnose what happened there.
Oh, that's great. That helps folks understand a few of the pros and cons and how they might use it. I know what we really appreciate about the nature of your research is it's capturing what shoppers are doing in their shopper mode, that system one mode. I recall the video where you had the woman just walk, like you said, she was on roller skates and took the bottle off the shelf, but that's real shopper action that they're doing non-consciously. And yet the results of that optimization are incredible. Your real estate example. From our end, when we think about that from SellCheck, what you ended up doing was you ended up having a key command element and you segmented it. You had made it relevant so they could look amongst a choice set that really mattered to them. I thought the tomato heat mapping was eye-opening. When someone's predisposed, they're looking for something, they've got a mental image in their mind, And then it causes them to naturally understand and look at it because the view they're seeing in store match the picture that they had in their mind. So it's really great work. I've got a couple more questions for you, and I think we have enough time for them, if that's okay with you. I found your findings in the cereal planogram in the hair care set fascinating. And one of the things that really hit in my mind is that it calls out the importance of packaging as a critical performance marketing element unto itself. You know, we probably have that a little bit intuitively, but the data really drove that home on how hard our packaging is working. Are there some universal key takeaways that you might be able to share with our audience today?
Yeah, sure. So we've done research on packaging and looked at different aspects of the package that influence shopper behavior. And there are three key things that we keep in mind. One is the distinctiveness of the package. How well does it stand out from, the other products in the category and the competitive clutter? So it's color, it's contrast, it's the size, the shape of the package. So that's important. But a second key feature is the meaning that's communicated by the package and how well that meaning matches the shopper's needs and desires. A third critical element is the brand equity in the package. So there are certain elements of the package, might be the shape, might be the logo or the color of the package, that consumers use to recognize the brand. And if you change that, you can inadvertently confuse shoppers and hurt the shopping process.
That's super, Ray. I appreciate you sharing. And it's music to our ears and likely that of the brands themselves. I mean, that's consistent with a lot of things we see in SellCheck and some of the winning efforts on package design do exactly what you're talking about. Hey, Ray, thank you again for sharing with us. Really appreciate your expertise and insight, and thanks for sharing what you do and how you do it. And that kind of leads to my last question here. I'm sure that some of our viewers out here would wonder how they might tap into you and your group if they're wanting to field some research.
Well, thanks so much, Lynn. Yeah, I welcome people to reach out. We have done a number of studies in this area that I would be willing to share. And if you're interested in collaborating research, for projects that are things that we can talk about publicly, that they're projects that we can do for the industry, we would love to work with you and publish and present this research. If these are projects that are going to be confidential and proprietary, it may not be as good a fit for us because our focus is on sharing knowledge, but I can definitely put you in touch with companies who can help to field that research.
Fantastic. Educators through and through. I really appreciate it, Ray. And everybody, what I want to do now is share and move on to our second annual Best of SellCheck Awards. Here we recognize the brands that represented the best creative executions incorporating the SellCheck 4 C's. That's command attention, connect with the shopper, convey a compelling story, and close the sale. There are 7 award categories, with the winner in each category receiving a SellCheck Opti Award, signifying the very best of the best. Now, how do we select our nominees and our recipients of the SellCheck Opti Award? The first thing is the overall SellCheck score, but it also includes some balance, making sure that each execution is strong across each of the 4 C's. Second, how effectively are we utilizing the medium? Did we make the most of the opportunity? And third, application of shopper insights. And that's insights both on what's happening in your particular category or any particular behavioral insights that you might be leveraging in the execution. Now, before we get into the actual awards, it's important to call out that the significance of being a finalist for a SellCheck Opti Award. Every execution you see here surpassed thousands of others to earn the status of finalists. So congratulations to all the finalists, and let's see them all and recognize our SellCheck Opti Award winners for the year of 2021. The first category that we're going to take a look at is the best brand equity execution. And we're going to break this down into 2 segments. The first actually being digital executions. And these are executions that leverage brand equity to reinforce the consumer connection and drive shopper conversion. Our nominees are the bubbly This Fizz Runs in the Family digital ad. The Mountain Dew Frostbite at Walmart digital ad. And the winner of the SellCheck Opti is the bubbly This Fizz Runs in the Family digital ad. Now let me play this for you full through one more time, and then we're going to break it down and talk about why this one stood out as a finalist and became the winner. Okay, so a number of things at work here. Let's pause and take it one by one. Think about command. The first thing that they're doing is they're utilizing the medium effectively. They're actually bringing motion to this execution, and the motion actually creates our initial visual interest. And remember that command elements work strongest when they set up our product proposition. So they're segueing from this motion right into a clear brand representation of what the product looks like. And then what happens next? They bring in the This Fizz. It's simple, it's fast, this is a smaller execution, so you need to be really clean on it. But this fizz is a uniting element between what they're establishing as the brand equities right here, knowing the brand and the category that we're talking about, but then they take it farther with the next frames. So as they segue from this fizz, they talk about this fizz runs in the family. And it's just as important to talk about what they didn't do here as what they did. It's very tempting when you want to communicate all the variance and choice you have that you want to show them one by one and have the viewer register each flavor. They made an important strategic choice. What the message here is, here's bubbly, recognize us, and they're communicating through this image that we have a lot of flavors. We have a whole family of flavors. You are likely going to find the one you want. And then they really drive this home with a final close message of reinforcing some key attributes of the brand. No calories, no sweeteners, all smiles, and they don't leave the viewer hanging. It's very clear on what they deem to do next, and they emphasize that shop now. So this is really well done by Bubbly, and congratulations on winning the SellCheck Opti Award. Our second category is still in brand equity, but now we're looking at the physical executions. Our first nominee is the Mio Bold Flavor Shelf Talker. Second nominee, the Ore-Ida Cooler Case Shelf Talker. And the Capri Sun Easy to Pack Pouch Shelf Talker. And the Opti winner is the Ore-Ida Cooler Case Shelf Talker. So let's break this one down in terms of the 4 C's. So right, you can tell it's a huge, bold presentation. And this is a really great awareness of one of the challenges within the category. There's a deselection barrier that it's possible that the shopper can't even see the category, much less find the brand. You've all experienced this. You look down that cooler aisle and you have repetition blindness. You can't tell what things are. The signs overhead are intended to be helpful. They're all copy, and oftentimes they don't describe the category as accurately. When you're looking down the aisle, it is unmistakable that this is where I'm going to find fries, particularly the crinkle cut Ore-Ida fry. The credit of this execution is not only does it lift the brand, we guarantee that this will actually raise category sales. Remember, it's a deselection barrier they're overcoming here. When I'm unaware of the category or I might not engage because I simply don't see it. Just seeing the category here is going to raise engagement, whether someone's shopping for Ore-Ida crinkle fries or whether they're shopping for Ore-Ida tots or hash browns. So the brand is going to get a superior benefit, but the category is going to see a lift as well. As someone gets closer to this, they're going to see Ore-Ida. They're going to have some of the claims here on why Ore-Ida specifically. It's great taste appeal, and it's a really great job of overcoming the primary purchase barrier, get someone in the aisle, finding the category, finding our brand. Really nice job by Ore-Ida, and congratulations on winning the SellCheck Opti Award. Our next category is best competitive trial and switch. What's important about this category is it's important that you're shaking complacency in what the shopper is currently doing. You want to prompt a new course of action for the shopper to take that benefits your brand. Here are our nominees. The Nasacort Breathing is Believing Shelf Talker. The Breyer's Delights, yes, that's calories per tub, key visual. And the Pete's Coffee Freshness You Can Fact Check digital ad. The winner of the 2021 SellCheck Opti is Pete's Coffee Freshness You Can Check digital ad. Let's zero in on this one on what works. I mean, right out of the gate, the command element is the package itself. It is very choiceful on framing a single pack, and you get the brand registration immediately with the command element. But look at the other choice they made here. This is a pure execution talking about and focusing in on freshness. And it's freshness you can fact check. Remember, this category is about competitive trial and switch. And one of the keys here is you got to shake that complacency on what the shopper is doing. And Pete's does this in a very effective way, and they take the high road in doing it. They didn't try to denigrate competitive brands. They're just saying, Pete's has freshness you can check. But don't you feel a little bit of wondering, can you check the freshness of your current brand? If Pete's is going to make this promise, what kind of promise is my current brand making? Now, if people happen to be unaware or haven't tried Pete's before, what Pete's does nicely is they utilize social proof in order to make the brand relevant and know that you can trust them. So down here, they've got more than 5,000 reviews and 4.5 stars. So you got confidence that others have chosen Pete's and been really happy with it, and it's easy to add to the cart. Great job by Pete's, and congratulations on the SellCheck Opti Award. The next category that we have is the best impulse or new usage occasion. This is a case where we want to expand the brand's presence by suggesting a new use or maybe creating a new moment to consider and purchase the brand. Our nominees are the Bombay Sapphire As Creative as You Are Key Visual, the Oreo Bake with Oreo This Hari Raya Large Display, and the Coffee Mate Try the Best Thing in Coffee Since Ice Key Visual. And the winner of the SellCheck Opti is the Oreo Bake with Oreo This Hari Raya. Okay, a couple of things that are really working well for this. Obviously, it's got strong command. We've got a big visual brand block. Remember in Ray's presentation, he talked about how fast you can find the cereals here. This is a brand using that to its advantage. They've got a bold brand block that's going to stand out of this Oreo blue. Now look what they're doing with visuals instead of words. They're using the iconic Oreo shape, cookie, and look, but all they did was put the chef's hat on it. And instantly that conveys that we're cooking with Oreo. You get it in a simple moment. They kept the execution fairly simple. It says bake with Oreo, and then their visualization that they utilize on the brand, on the palette wrapper down here. It would have been very easy for them to replicate the same imagery around every side and say, boy, here are 4 recipes you can make. Instead, it was the power of zeroing in on one that had flavor and taste appeal that says, yes, I can bake with Oreo. And then there's really something clever that they did with the QR codes here. First of all, they made them available. And QR codes are more ubiquitous. If you're looking for a silver lining to code amongst many others, we've been trained on utilizing QR codes. So you don't have to do a lot of explaining in the steps, but they make it available to the shopper. And then one very clear and effective cognitive choice they made was in this base on where they place that QR code. Look at how it's overlapping the image of the food right here. And this is a nice implication that this QR code leads to baking ideas. It's going to lead to recipes. So a lot of nice cues in here that make this noticeable. You recognize the new use of the product, and then you bring inspiration and let the viewer know that there's more ways to be inspired and why they should pick up Oreo right now. So great job, Oreo, and congratulations on winning the SellCheck Opti Award. Our next category is the best seasonal event. What you're trying to do here is seize that seasonal moment and increase that shopper engagement and the role of the brand as a solution for the season. We're going to start with our digital executions. The first one is the Lay's Share More Joy digital ad. The next is the SodaStream Fizz the Season digital ad. And the winner of the SellCheck Opti is the Lay's Share More Joy digital ad. I'm going to play it through all the way, and then we'll pause along the way and talk about what works well in this digital ad. Okay, it's a quick view and straightforward, but let's look at a couple of things that they did especially well. Again, they're leveraging the medium. So we have an introduction where the snow burst comes up, but it's very intentional. The snow burst is going to lead into our headline right here. And let's talk about this headline. The headline uses relevant seasonal message of sharing joy, so it's relevant for the season, but it's also a nice double entendre of sharing more joy, that you're going to bring more joy to the season, and of course you're going to do it with Lay's. And it's implied both in the headline and obviously the product presentation that this is a multi-purchase opportunity. We've got great seasonal packaging that implies a limited edition, so get it now or it might not be available. And then what the action that the shopper needs to take is really clear. They're going to make sure that they shop now at Walmart, and they provide some emphasis to that shop now button so the shopper knows exactly what to do next. Great job by Lay's, and congratulations on the SellCheck Opti Award. Our next category that we have is seasonal executions, but are in the physical environment. And our nominees are the Tang Make Iftar Gatherings More Refreshing display, the Nabisco Snack Together, Win Together Olympics display, and the Cadbury Do Not Eat This Winning Egg key visual. And the winner of the SellCheck Opti is the Nabisco Snack Together, Win Together Olympics display. Let's talk about why this works so well. Obviously, it's got great scale, okay? And we know that scale can make a difference in in-store environments. But it has some interesting organic shapes that help bring people into it as well. It is an especially good use of the Olympics talent in this case. Multi-brand displays are difficult. The brand night question, how do I bring my brand equities to life? What do I want to say about brands? And all of a sudden, you can just have a display that's cluttered with everything. What the Nabisco team did here really well is they made a choice and said, what this is about our theme of when you snack together, we win together, and our emphasis is going to be on the Olympians, okay? So it's a great choicefulness on what they curated out that could have gone in this display. A few things, the way they're using their talent that work particularly well for convey and close. Okay, so, well, let's talk about command first. We said it's large, but also the talent facing forward. I see the visuals. We're going to be instinctively drawn to see the human face looking forward. So they're doing that wonderfully out of the gate. But look at their interaction with the product. And you guys likely know this, that have worked with talent and want interactions with the product. This isn't easy to do. It's a conscious choice of doing the shoot and making them interact with the product. This does two important things for this execution. The first one's pretty obvious. It actually makes that theme mean something. Snack together, win together. It makes it believable that these athletes are actually interacting with the product, and that when I purchase the product, I'm actually helping the team in some way. So it delivers on that core concept that they have and makes it believable that these athletes are really liking the product and interact with it. The second thing we do, and it's a subtle one, it's a behavioral science concept of mirroring. We're more likely to do the actions of the people around us. And so by showing them interacting with the product and actually eating the product, it's a nice little subtle cue. This is what you ought to be doing. So it's a really great execution in what otherwise could be very complicated, very choiceful, very effectively done. So well done, Nabisco, and congratulations on winning the SellCheck Opti Award. Our next category is the best event or price promotion. And this is a case where you want to create an event, a moment to drive shopper engagement and actually inspire an immediate purchase. Our nominees include the Gatorade Greatness Starts With digital ad, the LifeWater Immune Supporting, Great Tasting, Always Hydrating digital ad, the Oreo Twist, Lick, Dunk, Buy, Solve, Win large display, Rockstar For the Hustle digital ad, and the winner of the SellCheck Opti is the Oreo Twist, Lick, Dunk, Buy, Solve, Win large display. A lot of things that are working really hard on this display. So let's start with command. From far away, you can see that something special is going on here. The choice to make this a three-dimensional execution. They're actually bringing Gotham to life up here. And again, one of the things that's done especially well is the choice not to overcrowd this command element. Let's make it stand out. Let's draw the viewer in from 30 to 50 feet away and let them know what's going on. One of the things that they do especially well throughout this display is the marrying of the equities. So Connect is really clear. It's Oreo and it's with Batman. And they do a nice job of utilizing visual cues and developing a tonality where Oreo plays a clear role. Oreo is actually a part of Gotham City right here, building the structures within, and then topped by the beacon. An Oreo cookie, and it's emphasizing the Batman embossed design on it, which is obviously going to be a limited edition, and it evokes that light in the sky on looking for Batman. So really well played on the combination of equities. A couple of other things they did here, because there's multiple products in here. So again, it's a big challenge. Look at their choiceful use of red. Okay, this is a promotion after all, but what they've done is they've done a distinct choice saying, okay, we're going to use this red cue to highlight the Batman beyond equity for what that logo is going to look like. And then the Batman experience is going to be delivered in red as well. And so it's very easy to make a visual link between this overarching Batman element and that there's an opportunity to participate in a promotion. Another great thing they do here, talk about just a really seamless combination of equities. They're taking their own equity of twist, lick, dump. That's how we all eat an Oreo, right? And look how they carried that over to the promotion itself. So now you can twist, lick, dump, but you ought to buy, solve, and win as well. Really well done meshing on the equities, being noticeable, being relevant, and bringing the promotion in a very effective way to close the sale. So congratulations, Oreo, on the SellCheck Opti Award. The next category that we have is the best new look or brand refresh. And this is the case where we want to advance the brand in the shopper's mind while ensuring there's continuity and connection to our key equities. We got to bring our old shoppers along with any new shoppers we might be trying to get. The first nominee is the Campbell's new look of Good FSI. The Dairy Milk, our style has changed, but the taste never will, key visual. And the Knorr new look gondola. And the SellCheck Opti winner is Campbell's new look of Good FSI. So several things that are working real well on this. Look at that bold presentation in blocks of color. And it isn't just trickery to get our attention. It's effective on getting attention, but it sets up the whole proposition of the change. If you actually back up a little bit, the whole ad itself takes on the look of the new design, the new label design, with that very clear red bar, very clear white bar. So this helps separate this FSI from some other ads. And in doing so, it also sets up what the messaging is of here's what you're going to look for on the shelf. They were very choiceful in their headline. When you're doing a conversion and getting a new look, it's very important that you let the shopper know what you're doing and what to be looking for. So this isn't the time to try to come on with some other clever headlines on here that might confuse. This message is, we have a new look. It's crystal clear and it's effective. Then it delivers on that new look. You can imagine the shopper going into the shelf and seeing this line of red bar and white bars. Now there's something else that they do here, and this ties back in some of what Ray said on prompting the shopper or priming them ahead of a trip. Remember, we had a couple of cases where someone had that visual in mind, whether it was tomatoes, whether it was cereal boxes. But when we have a mental image in mind, it really carries with us. And in this case, when you've got a coupon prompting the purchase, make sure you print that product on the coupon. It's true for any coupon right there. It might get torn off. Especially important when you're doing a new look change. You need to make sure that the scavenger hunt isn't hard. It needs to be easy to solve. Bring this coupon in and get them right to the new product, new look. So very nice job, Campbell's, and congratulations on winning the SellCheck Opti Award. Our next category is the best new product introduction. This is a case where we want to drive new product awareness, education, and conversion in a single shopping-facing moment. Our nominees are the Sif Ultra Brightness No Dust Furniture Polish Display, the Cheetos Mac and Cheese at 7-Eleven digital ad, and the Cadbury New Caramel Key Visual. And the winner of the SellCheck Opti is the Cheetos Mac and Cheese at 7-Eleven digital ad. We'll play it through, then we'll talk about this one in a little more detail. It's important when introducing a product like this to recognize that new needs a reference. And this Cheeto ad does that particularly well. How are they going to have someone understand that this is a Cheetos product, but different than what they're used to in the past? Well, they do it by anchoring it with what they know and love about Cheetos. Here's our crunchy Cheetos, your favorite snack, instant relevance, and I understand what this is. And then they do a very clever explosion of this. Not only is it an explosion of flavor, but it's a transformation moment that now we are Cheesy Mac. And we've got two variants here. So they've anchored it in what the shopper already knows and recognizes about Cheeto. And by doing that visually, they introduce the new product and also imply what the shopper might expect from them. And then as they carry this ad out, how clever here. It's 2 for $2. We happen to have 2 SKUs. Why don't you buy them both for trial? So it's a really nice job of conveying the message and getting to that closure moment. Congratulations to Cheeto on winning the SellCheck Award. We have seen a lot of great executions right here in our award. We want to recognize all the 2021 finalists in contention for the Opti Award. We congratulate our SellCheck Opti winners, each representing the best of the best across command attention, connect with the shopper, convey a compelling story, and ultimately close the sale for increased conversion. Each winner will receive a personalized Opti Award. I also want to thank again Ray Burke from the Kelley School of Business for sharing his findings and his shopability research. A gift of insight to us all, really, really. And thank you to all of you for your outstanding work in 2021. We are eager to see and recognize your great work continue through 2022. Here's to always optimizing. We want to thank you and have a wonderful afternoon and evening. Take care.